that leads a little credence to maybe some teams, because we have heard about the arrogance. We have heard other, notes. It hasn't come from a specific source or anything, but we have heard like he's very arrogant and things of that nature. And so, but I don't know. Like Joe Burrow is arrogant, so I don't know what you do with that.
No, it's
because sometimes arrogance can be thought of as confidence.
Yeah, it's an asset. In a lot of things.
So what to do with that? I don't know. I think if you need a quarterback, I think Shedeur's a good guy to draft.
Well, I think if you're an NFL team and you've been in this draft process for months, what one guy says on the eve of the draft is not going to move the needle.
It shouldn't.
No, there's no way it should, because if you haven't already figured this out or figured that this is inaccurate, like what the hell have you been doing?
Are you doing anyway? Yeah.
To me, it's irrelevant.
But I thought this was very interesting. So this is an NFL assistant coach here on Shedeur Sanders. The worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good. Now, I want you to think about this. Formal interview. That means it's at least a top 10, top 15 team. He's not interviewing with every team, Yeah. So it's only a handful of teams that this could be from. This is a current NFL assistant coach here. Okay, and it explains why he could be in talks of slipping down the draft. And then if he's really getting in these interviews, now this might be just a person who doesn't like Deion and doesn't like Shedeur.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on this.
You call him, okay.
And here's why. We know at the Combine he didn't interview particularly well with most teams. And the general vibe there was on certain teams he didn't seem particularly interested in talking to and just kind of went through the motions of the interview. Look at the statement again. The worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. Stop. Nothing in the next two sentences says a damn thing about the interview. Everything below that is stuff that you would surmise from watching film.
I won't say that. Not everything.
100%.
No, the body language and blames teammates.
Body language is what you see on film.
But it also could
blames
be
teammates. I don't like.
What if he was in the interview blaming?
Okay, he could have, but this is bullshit to me. And I've watched that guy play, and I remember on this show talking about. I was actually impressed with a lot of his body language when that line was playing like shit.
Yeah.
And he typically took, as you want people to take, a beating with honor. And he took the sacks, he got knocked around, whatever.
Yeah.
But the majority of what's here is stuff that comes off of film.
Yeah.
The majority, the vibe is he's so entitled. He doesn't say like any specific thing that he said. I think that this is kind of bullshit. And I think that, there's three scenarios in my book. One, this is somebody again, maybe just hates Deion and the whole family wants to shit on him.
Yeah.
Number two, this is a situation of a team that he did not want to go to and kind of just went through the interview negatively to turn them off. Mm-hmm. Or number three, this is a team that's going to draft him. And they want to shit it up as best they can.
Oh, smoke screen.
They want to poison the well.
Oh, yeah.
And that it's like, hey, maybe they're 10th and they feel like they dropped this the day before the draft. And again, this is stuff like anything there could have been said 2 months ago, 3 months ago,
Why now?
2 weeks ago. It's being said now for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that there's some sort of internal thing. And if somebody really hates Deion and hates Shedeur and it wants to drive the value down just so they don't get money or get whatever, or there's literally, this is coming from somebody on the team that's going to draft him. And that they're not in a prime position. They're not like 3 to 5, but they're maybe 10, 11, 12, whatever. And they feel like, hey, let me kind of muck the water up here. And this increases our chance to get them. And it's not the first time any of this has happened in a draft.
I was going to say that's fair because, of course, that has happened, and we've seen that after the fact. It's a thing. Yeah. I'll put it this way. I have been confused on the talk of Shedeur, sliding in the draft because I didn't think that Cam Ward was that much of a better quarterback prospect than Shedeur to begin with. I didn't. I thought they were a lot closer than what this slide may, insinuate.
Yeah.
So if he ends up sliding to whatever Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh has what, a late teens pick or 20s or something, like that would surprise me.
Yeah.
And so that leads a little credence to maybe some teams, because we have heard about the arrogance. We have heard other, notes. It hasn't come from a specific source or anything, but we have heard like he's very arrogant and things of that nature. And so, but I don't know. Like Joe Burrow is arrogant, so I don't know what you do with that.
No, it's
because sometimes arrogance can be thought of as confidence.
Yeah, it's an asset. In a lot of things.
So what to do with that? I don't know. I think if you need a quarterback, I think Shedeur's a good guy to draft.
Well, I think if you're an NFL team and you've been in this draft process for months, what one guy says that on the eve of the draft is not going to move the needle.
It shouldn't.
No, there's no way it should, because if you haven't already figured this out or figured that this is inaccurate, like what the hell have you been doing?
Are you doing anyway? Yeah.
To me, it's irrelevant.
And then I know the guys at the top of the draft, the Browns and Giants, they have a particular conundrum because those are two teams that need quarterbacks for the future, need quarterbacks now and for the future, but they have so many other needs. And then you have the defensive end and you have Travis, and these are looked upon as maybe, guys who can really like break the mold in their roles, like, and really become superstars, so
I look at it differently though, because if you get the quarterback right, you're set for a good time.
Yeah.
And if you get those other guys right, you still need a quarterback. I mean, this is a quarterback-driven league. You're not going very far without an upper-tier quarterback. And so, that also suggests that, maybe most teams don't really feel that Shedeur is a lock to be that guy.
Yeah. No, I agree, and shout out to NBA 151. Comments all the time. Appreciate your comment and new commenter Mark. Since the coach is salty.
Oh yeah, that's Mark.
Oh, you know Mark?
That's Holland's boyfriend.
Who? Oh.
Shout out Mark.
Shout out Mark. Appreciate your comment, man. Comments make the world go round, makes the podcast grow. So definitely appreciate that. But assistant coach is salty. Yeah, that's probably what's going on here. If it's not that they're trying to muck up the stuff,
sure.
But because like I said, now I understand what you're saying about Cleveland and the Giants, right? If you get the quarterback right, the problem is the ratio of teams that get the quarterback right in the draft is just not low, especially in the top of the draft.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Shedeur doesn't pan out, and if those two guys are for sure can't misses, if that's what your team comes up with, then yes, I do think I would take Travis over Shedeur. I would.
Yeah.
I'm just a big Travis guy. I'm there with Travis.
Yeah.
But after that, I don't know how he can go from 3 or whatever, 4, all the way down to the 20s. I don't understand how the Saints pass on him. If you're the Saints, how the fuck do you pass on him at number 9?
Right.
Who else is there? What are you doing? To take an offensive top? I mean, I understand, whatever. But you already have a solid offensive line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take Shedeur. What is the problem?
No, I 100% agree.
I would be shocked if he goes past 9. Yeah. I would be like, what is going on? Now, New Orleans is a good city, but the team is awful. I don't like as far as assets and stuff. If I'm Shedeur, it's probably not the place I want to land, but I want to be a top 10 pick. So whatever.
For sure. No, I mean, to me, I'm looking at like if you, theoretically, if you feel that Shedeur is like on the level of Jaden Daniels, you have to take him.
Yeah.
You have to take him at 2. If that's what you think.
If that's what you think, yeah.
And again, mistakes happen, misevaluations occur. It is what it is. But just the value of a quarterback in an NFL setting, if you believe that he's, Jaden Daniels level guy, you take him at 2, and don't look back. But if you have reason to believe it, and it's fair to say maybe he's just not that level, and again maybe it's more appropriate that it's mid first round or something like that.